Hello, everyone. Welcome to the webinar. Um, we're going to wait. I guess that people are still joining, so we're going to wait a couple minutes while people joins, and we start right after. Okay. So while we wait for people to finish joining, I want you to remember um, that you can at any moment write any question that you have in the question box, and I'll try to answer all of them at the end of the webinar. Okay. Okay, so I think we can start now. So welcome everyone. Thank you for attending this webinar. My name is Gorka Rieta, and I'm a product owner here at RatedPower in the storage team. And today I want to walk you through what's been the latest updates for this amazing quarter. We had a lot of great updates and a lot of new features, and we'll get to them in a minute. So first of them in April was the feature to export statistics and KPI charts. So if you're familiar with the homepage in the statistics and KPIs section, and if you are an admin user, so if you have like an administrator permissions, you can export all the usage data from all the users in your company. Well, basically all the yeah, so you can see that there's a table right there. I think it's a bit small, but basically you can access to the number of projects, the number of designs, and also the average power of the designs for each country. So you can now export this for up to a month period, which will soon and in future updates be extended to a longer period. But for now, it's up to a month of data, which is pretty cool for users to analyze what was the usage of the platform, right? Um, Next, we have the feature to show the interconnection KPIs and in the design process screen. So previously, if a user wanted to check to look for the KPIs and the information of the substation and the overhead line, they had to download all the documentation and check through the documentation to see this data. And now, pretty conveniently, we've added it to the right sidebar with the rest of the plant KPIs, so you can see there the substation data, like the maximum capacity, number of transformers. You also have the capacity in case you have an overhead line. You can see the capacity of the line, the length of the line, the number of towers, the losses, and so on. Um, then we went into May and we launched the feature to allow the user to define or to install multiple switching and breaking station containers inside the same substation. So before this release, the switching and breaking station option was disabled if the capacity of the PV plant or PV and battery system was higher than 100 megawatts, because we only allowed for one single container to be installed. And now this limit for the single container still exists, but as we allow for more than one container to be installed, this capacity that like virtually this capacity limit does not exist anymore, as the user can install more switch and breaking station containers. And also a cool feature added is that now the users can see in the layout, like actually see the number of containers and how they are connected to the MV lines. Then also during May, we migrated to Auth0, which I'm pretty sure that you all suffer from this because all the users had to reset or change their passwords. Yeah, we changed to this identity platform, which is the software that Emberus uses to authenticate the user. And this was a change that aimed to improve the security, and also to integrate what's the RatedPower application with the rest of the Embeddus application, like in a seamless way. So pretty cool. And then came June, which was the biggest, I would say, with very cool new features. The biggest one of them, I would say, being flexible interconnection schema, which allows for the definition of more complex architectures to evacuate all the plant's rated power. So prior to this release, the users could only define a single switch and breaking station or substation, and all the capacity of the PV plant and battery system would be evacuated through that facility. But now the users can define several facilities, 20 to be exact, 20 switch and breaking stations and 20 substations, and also the connections between them. So then the software will evacuate the capacity of the PV plant through the different facilities. And now, if I may, I will show you a quick demo of this feature, because it is pretty dense and it has a lot of things, and it actually starts with now you should be seeing the software, right? So this feature starts in the very beginning with the site creation, as you define the different polygons for the facilities. So you may be seeing here in green the new switch and breaking stations. I've defined them already, and I have 4 of them. You can see them here, and here there's a new concept it's the different levels of facilities. So in this case, we're going to have the lowest level, the switch and breaking stations. You can have as much as 3 levels. The lowest has then usually been the switching and breaking stations. So now we're going to go ahead and create another level of facility, which is going to be a substation. And I'm just going to create something here with a rectangular shape, kind of, right? We're going to create one there. And now you need to connect with an MV cable the switching and breaking station with the new substation right there. Should be okay. And we're gonna just connect this to make it simpler. So now we had 2 options, right? We can connect this to switch and breaking stations directly to this, and we have like 2 level schema, right? But we can go a step ahead, a step further, and create here another substation to first connect uh, these two switching and breaking stations to this substation, like so. Okay, should be right. And now what we need to do is connect these two substations. So how are we going to do that? In this case, we're going to make it more complex as possible, as we like. And oh, sorry, here. And now we need to connect this because now we are in we're going to go through the second level, which is the second level substation, to the last and higher level, which is the pooling substation, which is in high voltage. So we need to connect this with a overhead line. An MV line does no longer work for this. So we can connect these overhead lines here, and we can do an extra overhead line here just for the evacuation purposes. We'll just leave it right around there. And now we can, so now we have in green our lower level facilities, which are the switch and breaking stations connected with MV cables to the second level facility, which is the substation. And then the substation connected to a pooling substation and then an overhead line, right? That's going to be evacuating all this power. So as you see, we have kind of like a tree kind of a schema, right? Where we have more switching and breaking stations that go into less substation into one single pooling substation. Sorry, 1 second. Lights went off. Just a second, please. Technical problems. I'm sorry. I'm back. Okay, so as I was saying, this tree schema makes it that we can have more, that you cannot have more of a higher level facilities than you have of a lower level facilities. So if you have, let's say, 3 second level facilities, you need to have at least 3 or more low level facilities, and so on, right? So it's like a tree, let's say. So yeah, yes, let's go ahead and just save this. I know that this seems very complex. It is actually, but you can. I encourage you to go take a look at the knowledge base where we have all these features very well explained in depth, and I'm pretty sure that it's going to be much clearer after reading it. So now we are into the design process page, and if we go to the grid point section, we can see the connection type, where, well, you have like a ton of inputs here, and I'm not going to go into all of them, but just for you to know the most important ones, which I think they are like the distribution strategy, which basically defines how the the switching and breaking stations, like the lower level facilities, are connected to the available areas and to the to the PV plant. Sorry. So we have different strategies. The first and the default one being to minimize electrical losses, which basically prioritize optimizing the cabling losses. So trying to connect always to the closest, well, usually the closest switching and breaking station. Then we have the balanced capacity distribution, which the software is going to aim to balance the capacity of the PV plant around the different facilities. And then we have the last one, which is to assign a one-to-one. So obviously for this option, we need to have at least the same number of low-level facilities as available areas. If not, you cannot connect all of them one-to-one, right? Um, well, a lot more inputs. For those of you that like to customize your interconnection facilities. And the other point that I wanted to go into was if you are sizing your plant using power factor requirements, so using reactive power compensation, you can now go into here and define strategy settings, and you can see that if you want to change the point of measurement, you can now choose um, well, all the inputs and outputs of the different facilities that you've defined in the interactive site creator, right? So you have your switching and breaking station, you have your substation, your second level facility, which is the substation, and you have your highest level facility, which is the pooling substation, right? And you can see that if I move the point of measurement of the power factor, it changes accordingly to the point where I'm at. So yeah, that's it for the inputs, more or less. There's a lot more of it, but if I now run the design to show you the next thing I wanted, let's wait a couple seconds while this runs. We can now make use of the previously mentioned feature, which is having all the interconnection um, KPIs in the design process. So you are seeing how all starting to make sense, right? And you have all of this here, and you can of course select the substation that you want to check the KPIs for it. So you have all the facilities here, you have the different arrangements, the capacity that went into every one of them, the switch and breaking stations, the overhead lines, and everything in here. So very convenient. And also you have the new documentation. So you see here that says new interconnection documents and a zip file. So if you download this, you're going to have for each of the facilities that you've defined, you will have a report, you have the single line diagrams, you have the layout and more things. So everything related to each of those facilities. And obviously the rest of the documentation has been updated to accordingly refer all of these changes to the new facilities and all the information. And I think that's more or less all of it for this feature. Very cool feature. Very big, very dense. I encourage you again to take a look in depth into it because it is a great feature. And if we go now back to the presentation, the next feature was financial KPIs. Also very interesting feature. This allows the user to define an energy price and also an escalation factor as a percentage that change not doesn't change, like it's applied year to year, sorry, for the OPEX and the revenue. So when the user defines these inputs, then the user can calculate, well, the software will calculate the financial KPIs, like the most used ones, or yeah, the most important ones. That will be the net present value, the internal rate of return, the return of investment, sorry, the payback, and the discounted payback. So if I may again go to the software to show you this, um, in the new financial section, you can now, well, no, you can now, this was already implemented, right, the CAPEX, but if you select for example, let's take this capex template from Portugal, where you can see all the prices and units defined. Obviously, the more detailed the capex definition it is, the more accurate the results, the financial analysis will be, right? If you go to the OPEX, you can define the OPEX, and this is one of the new inputs, the escalation factor. And if we go to revenue, you can define a fixed energy price. So this will be like a PPA, like a power purchase agreement, right? Where you sign a contract to sell the energy for a fixed amount. And then you can also define an escalation factor for that revenue that you're getting, that's going to be applied year to year. And if you also define a discount rate, you have everything you need to then run the simulation, which I already have done. And you can see here the financial results also in the KPI section, so you don't have to go to the documentation and read everything. You have it directly here, and you can see the new KPIs: net present value, rate of return, rate of investment, return of investment, sorry, payback, and so on. And I think one of the coolest features here is the charts available. So very graphically, you can see uh, here all the different data for the net present value, the rate of return, for all the years, how it goes changing, all the cash flows for the different years, and the return of investment. So very cool feature. Also, if you go to the documentation, sorry, you can see the financial analysis here document, which we added some more sheets. You have here you can see like an hourly, yeah, so in an hourly basis, right, all the revenue, the energy consumed, so the expenses, and you can see also all these charts that I just showed you in an Excel format, so you can do whatever you want with it. And then one of the things that I think that very important to do here is to compare, right? So now that we have our financial analysis, we're going to compare different scenarios, different designs. So I've made two different designs, one with tracker structures and one with fixed structures. So now if we select these two, we can go into comparison tool, and if we go to filters, in the financial part, we can select all of the new ones, right? That's what we want to see. The net present value, ta, ta, ta. Now we go here and we can see that net present value, the rate of return, and we can compare easily as many scenarios as we want. We have here only two, and you can see. I think. Let me add another one. Equipment structure type. This was here. Okay, so the tracker wins apparently in terms of financial data, right? Has a higher rate of return, a lower payback, and a higher return of investment. So pretty cool feature to compare. And let's go back to the releases. The last one being the new setback for restricted areas. So previously, the user could only define the setback from the restricted area to the fence and from the fence to the structure, right? And we didn't internally make a distinction between restricted areas, between external restricted areas and internal restricted areas. So if you had like in the image here an internal restricted area, that would be surrounded by a fence and will have a setback and then another setback. And so it was yeah, sometimes let's say that you couldn't like maximize this space, right? So with with this new update, now the user can define the setback between the restricted area and the structure, sorry. Um, this way maximizing the space for structure installation, because we are, as in the image here, distinguishing between external and internal. So in the external case, you can see that first the setback from the restricted area to the fence is respected, and then you have a smaller gap for the setback from the fence to the structure. But in the case of the internal restricted area, you just have the setback from the structure to the restricted area. So seems like a small change, but it really can impact how much space and how much structures you have installed in your design and in your site. So pretty cool change. And with this, we finished like the biggest biggest features, but there was also some minor improvements, or not so, maybe not so minor improvements, that I want to share with you. First one being the contour lines. So now when you download when you generate the AutoCAD file, the DXF file for the topography analysis, sorry, you can see the contour lines in the drawing. And also another change was made to the general layout. We made a simplified version of the KML to have less resource expensive and for the user, and with less elements. So we are leaving. So the simplified version has all the elements of the general layout except for the trenches, the LV cabling, the DC boxes, and the string inverters. So also, like, the KML will be much smaller, the file, and it's a cool feature. And well, there was a ton more improvements. I got the trick for the light. Sorry. Um, there was a lot more improvements and a lot more bug fixes, which I encourage you to go take a look at in the knowledge base, where you can see all this information for all of the months that we upload monthly. So yeah, that was all from my side. Now it's time for questions. So go ahead and write anything you want to know in the comment box, and I will try to answer all of them. So okay, so there's a question from Jose Maria that says escalation factor involves only grid price year by year or also IPC. Um, the escalation, yeah, so the escalation factor involves only yes, the escalation factor, you can define it as you like. It can involve grid price, or it can also involve IPC. That's up for the user to define. Amanda is asking where we can find the instructions, help documentation for the flexible interconnection schema. Yes, so after the webinar finishes, we're going to send like a follow-up email for you to have all the links mentioned during the webinar, that including the documentation for the flexible interconnection schema. But you can also look it up in the, if you search for the knowledge base, you search knowledge base rated power, you'll see all the information that you need there. We have another question that says, can we define a variable price for the energy? Not currently. We can just define a fixed price, but it will come in future updates, because this is a very interesting feature to have variable energy prices. There's another question that says, the connection between the switch and breaking station and the PV plant is automatic. Yes, it's made automatically by the software. That's what the defining the different strategies does, but the user can actually override this behavior, but by connecting the available area to the lower level facility by hand. So you can make an MV path, an MV line to connect them, and the software will respect that and don't connect the facilities automatically. And there's also another question saying, can we connect the switching and breaking station with an overhead line? I think that you're referring if you can connect the switching and breaking station not to the available area, because that should be an MV path yet, but for if you have another level, like a higher load facility, you can connect the switch and breaking station with an overhead line or with an MV path to the next level, which will be a substation. There's another question from Jose Maria that say, I just say a low rate of return, 4%, and nevertheless NPV was higher than 0. Is it logical? It can be logical. Yes, will depend on the rest of the inputs, and it will also depend on the escalation factor defined and on the discount rate defined. So I don't see any more questions. If you don't like to ask anything else, we can close it here. Okay, so thank you everyone for your time. Thank you for joining, and yeah, I will see you on the next one. Bye bye. Have a nice afternoon.